What is up, guys? Welcome back to yet another brand new Major Brain Gaming video. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day as always. So we're going to be testing Elden Ring here today, and we've actually discovered something very interesting. Whereas when you're playing the game and you've finished the whole title and you've burnt down the Erd tree and stuff, the frame rate is far lower. So we'll do some comparisons between what it's like at the start of the game on the PlayStation 5 Pro and what it's like at the end of the game on the PlayStation 5 Pro as well. And also just to say, this game is not patched, so there's nothing that's been adjusted specifically for this system. It's just brute forcing itself to get to better frame rates, but it's definitely an improvement over the base PlayStation 5. So let's get into some testing. We'll get all the graphs up that now work properly on my channel, so going forward we'll have these on each video, and yeah, let's get into some testing. Okay, so let's look at the file size first. So if we just go down to the information here, we can see that the storage size is 81.54 gigabytes, so that's just the storage size for the whole game. I will add that the DLC is also installed, and we will be testing that in this video as well. Okay, so starting off with performance and quality mode side by side, I just want to say I know the frame time graphs are off screen, but if you do want to see full screen versions of these, they will be at the end of this video. The other thing I would like to add as well is bear in mind we are at the end of the game in this save, so the Erd tree has been burnt. You actually are seeing a reduced frame rate compared to what you would do if you were playing this at the start of the game, especially in the quality RT mode that we'll test after. So we're doing performance obviously on the left here, quality on the right, and then after that we're going to do quality on the right and then quality RT on the left, so you guys can see the difference between these modes. But to be honest, I would actually probably play this game now in the quality mode. You can see we're well above that 48 frames per second window, so that means we are now in the VRR window, so the TV will smooth everything out with any drops that you will get. Just bear in mind these menu drops are only here because obviously you're loading screens, things are freezing, so ignore the frame rates in these areas. But going on to now the DLC area, everything is pretty good. Now we are dropping a little bit below the VRR window in the quality mode, so you now will start to see these drops on a VRR display compared to the left, which is now staying up around that 55 to 60 in most cases, with the odd drop here and there, but it's much more consistent. Definitely a huge upgrade from the base PlayStation 5 in terms of footage, so it's looking much better. Happy with this, to be honest, but I would probably still play in quality mode because I don't think you're going to see these dips that often. It's just very close up against, and in some cases like on screen now it is slightly below that 48 frames per second, but it's definitely a huge improvement overall. So in a second, we'll go over to the quality in the quality RT mode. That one is the one that has the worst performance, and I think it's very important to note, again, we are testing this with the Erd tree burnt in the main areas of the game. There is a significant performance decrease, which we'll also test. We'll do one without the Erd tree burnt, so a brand new save, and one with the Erd tree burnt, and you'll be able to see the frame difference in those two modes. But I think overall that the performance increase compared to base PlayStation 5, and also the DLC area is definitely improved, because the DLC area had a lot of problems when this first launched. Okay, so onto the quality RT versus quality mode. As you can see, and as I've said in previous bits of footage, that the quality RT mode is significantly worse and actually drops below 30 frames per second when running it at the end of the title, when you've burnt the shadow tree or the Erd tree, and it looks significantly worse. You can actually see drops here going below compared to the standard quality mode. Now bear in mind these are side-by-side footage, and the quality mode is still running at the end of the game with the Erd tree being burnt, but the RT mode seriously impacts that. Now I will show in a second after this footage the quality RT mode at the end of the game versus the quality RT mode at the beginning of the game, so you can actually see the frame rate drops. We'll just do a very short comparison of that one, but you can actually see the difference in frame rate between those two. But again, this just kind of solidifies why you should absolutely play the quality mode versus the RT mode, because it's just a significant drop in frames and is not worth from what the visual difference that you see on screen. We will also do visual comparisons towards the later part of this video as well, where we just do side by side with different bits of footage. I've tried to match these two up as well as I can, but to be honest, you can see this kind of backs up my point. Now we're in the DLC area where there's not this big tree that's on fire. You can actually see the RT mode is easily up there with the quality mode now, and in some cases actually having higher frame rates than the standard quality mode. Maybe it's, I don't know why that would be, but it's absolutely happening. So I think it's interesting to see, but the main area in the base game is definitely impacted by the tree, and I would imagine all the different lighting effects that come from that. So that's definitely an interesting one. But overall, both in the DLC area that we're in now are both very usable and very playable, mostly appearing close to that 48 frames per second VRR window, so that's really, really good. And even the RT mode is definitely usable in this mode, and it's something when sitting in front of the TV and actually playing the game and not necessarily looking at graphs, but playing the game for yourself, you can very easily do it in the quality or quality RT mode in the DLC area, but the base game definitely suffers more from RT, which is something to note for sure. So as I've said a few times, this is the quality mode RT for both Endgame on the left side and early game on the right side. And as you can see, and as I kind of said at the beginning of the video, there's a serious discrepancy and difference between the two versions when you've finished the game and burnt the Erd tree compared to actually the early game when you haven't. So that's something to note with these comparisons. We are really doing worst case. And this is interesting because no one else seems to have tested this yet. Okay, so let's look at some image quality differences. This is the quality mode on the right. There's no RT in this mode, and then the performance mode in the left. We'll just do a little bit of each one, and then we'll go over to the DLC, do a little bit there, and we'll also do a quality versus quality RT. Please note there is different times a day, so it's very hard to line them up, but this is more a comparison of just general image quality, so you can actually see the difference between both different versions. Okay, so we're now onto the DLC area here. There is, again, a time of day difference for this, but it doesn't really matter. We're just looking at the quality, so you can see the difference between quality mode and also performance mode. The frame rate graphs, though, we've done in the previous section of this video, so we don't need to worry about that for now. You can see that there's a clear difference in performance, but at the end of the day, the differences in terms of performance and quality mode, there are some. It's definitely sharper in quality mode, but in the end of the day, you do lose some frame rate. Personally, I'd probably try and play this on quality mode without ray tracing, so you can actually get a rough idea from the frame rates we've done. It's mostly close to 60 now without RT, so that's how I would personally choose to play the game. And if there's any bosses that you're having like massive drops in frame rates in the quality mode, then I would just go to performance mode and then switch back after that. Okay, so now lining up the quality and quality RT modes. I've lined these up the best I can to make it as clear as possible between the two different modes, but you can definitely see, even though we've done the frame rate section, we're on the kind of quality testing section, you can definitely see performance differences between quality RT and quality, but at the end of the day, in terms of the difference in visuals, it is there. I would say the RT mode does look cleaner and nicer, but it's such a significant drop in frame rate that I absolutely wouldn't want to kind of play in this sort of way. So definitely would recommend just playing in the quality mode. This gets much closer to 60. If you've got a VRR display, then definitely play in the quality mode. If not, play in performance mode, because that will just get you closer, as we said in the previous comparisons in the frame rate graphs. But in terms of visuals, I don't think there's a lot here with RT that makes a huge difference. It's not like there's a load of puddles and things like that everywhere that makes a huge difference between these two modes. So we'll join up over now into the DLC area, and I'll try and line the footage up the best I can between these two areas. And you'll see that the actual difference in the DLC area isn't as big as I thought it would be. It's definitely a decrease in FPS in the quality RT mode, I think, over the base game, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be, especially as we've got this area, as we've talked about in the prior sections of the video. We've got the area where we're now playing at the end of the game in the base game section, where the Erd tree's been burnt. This significantly reduces the performance of what you can expect from this game, so just bear that in mind with these tests. As we did in the previous one, you can see a difference between the performance in the base game at the start and the performance in the base game once you've finished the game the first time. But that's just the quality mode and quality RT mode here. So let me know what you think, at least. I'm always interested to hear your opinions too, but yeah, let me know. Okay, so just to round off this video, I think overall the PlayStation 5 Pro is definitely doing performance overall better across all three modes, but there are still some drops. So even in the performance mode, you're not hitting a locked 60 frames. Please, again, bear in mind this game is not patched, so this is not something that you can go throwing around on Twitter like, oh, the PlayStation 5 Pro is pointless. This is an unpatched game. It's just brute forcing its way to actually getting better frame rates. But in the end of the day, it's the best way to play this game on console currently. So overall, performance mode is looking much better. If you've got a VRR display, you're going to see no dips at all throughout the entire game in performance mode. Quality mode is definitely getting there. I think maybe you'll see a couple of dips with VRR, but I would definitely play this game in quality mode if you've got a VRR display. If not, play in performance mode. And then quality RT, I would just leave alone, especially as you guys have seen the performance at the end of the game. Once you've actually set fire to the Erd tree, you can see the significant decrease in performance in all modes, to be honest, compared to the original starting point of the game, but especially in the RT mode, because it really makes that a lot worse. But that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed this one. We'll test far more games in the future. Please let me know in the comments down below if there's any games you would like me to actually try and test with this frame rate graph that we've got. Also, as well, just to add after this tiny little bit, remember we're going to show the full screen comparisons between the performance mode, the quality mode, and the quality RT mode, so they won't be side by side. You get full screen so you can see frame time graphs and everything like that. But please consider liking, subscribing if you've enjoyed this video. It took a lot longer than the usual videos, so don't expect necessarily daily videos at this quality level because it does take a lot longer. But please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in future videos. Bye bye for now.